Have you ever had one of those days where everything falls apart? I have. And trust me, I thought losing my wife would be the hardest part. I was wrong, because less than 24 hours later, my entire life changed with one phone call. My name is Ethan Brooks. I'm 48 years old, and for the last 12 years, I've worked in a warehouse. Nothing glamorous, nothing exciting. Just long shifts, heavy boxes, and a paycheck that barely covered the bills. But I never complained, because I believed hard work would eventually pay off. I had no idea how right I was. That Wednesday started like any other. Burnt coffee, aching shoulders, and a vending machine that happily swallowed my last $2. No sandwich, no refund. Just an error message staring back at me. I remember smiling, because somehow that little vending machine felt exactly like my life. The next morning, I woke up before the alarm, not because I had slept well, but because my mind refused to slow down. The divorce papers, the empty house, that mysterious letter, everything kept replaying in my head. By 8:45, I was standing outside Foster & Grant Attorneys. The building looked expensive. Glass walls, marble floors, the kind of place where people made decisions that changed lives. I adjusted my old jacket, looked down at my worn-out work boots, and quietly walked inside. "Good morning, Mr. Brooks." The receptionist smiled. "We've been expecting you." Expecting me? That felt strange. A few moments later, an older gentleman walked toward me. Silver hair, kind eyes, a calm smile. "Ethan?" "Yes." He extended his hand. "I'm Michael Foster. It's an honor to finally meet you." That word stayed with me. He led me into a quiet conference room overlooking the city. On the table, a thick leather folder waited. Michael sat across from me, then spoke softly. "Before we begin, I'm sorry for your loss." I nodded. "The truth is, I barely knew my great-uncle." Michael smiled gently. He knew enough. Without another word, he opened the folder. Inside were photographs, factories, office buildings, warehouses, private meetings, and one familiar face, Jonathan Brooks. Then, another photo. This time, it was me. Loading pallets at Ridgeway Manufacturing. Another. Helping an older coworker lift heavy boxes. Another. Buying lunch for a young employee who had forgotten his wallet. I looked up immediately. "What is this?" Michael remained calm. "Jonathan occasionally asked about you. He wanted to know the man you became." I couldn't speak. He watched me? Not every day, but enough. He believed character only appears when nobody important is watching. Michael handed me another folder. "This is his final will." I opened it carefully. The first pages listed donations, hospitals, scholarships, veterans, children's charities. Then, the final page, primary beneficiary, Ethan James Brooks. I stared at the page. There has to be someone else. Michael slowly shook his head. "There isn't. No wife, no children, no siblings. You were his final choice." He reached for one last folder. "This explains everything." Inside were financial reports, investment summaries, company ownership charts, page after page. The numbers became larger, much larger. Finally, Michael turned one page toward me. Estimated estate value, $286 million. I blinked, read it again, then again. "I'm sorry. I think I'm reading this wrong." "No, you're reading it correctly." I let out a nervous laugh. "Yesterday, I was worried about paying my electric bill. And today, you're telling me I'm worth almost $300 million? Michael nodded. "Yes." Then, he quietly slid one final document across the table. I looked down and immediately recognized the logo, Ridgeway Manufacturing Group, my company. I frowned. "What about it?" Michael smiled. "Jonathan Brooks owned 58% of the company." I looked up. owned. He left those shares to you. Silence. Complete silence. I looked back at the paper. Majority shareholder, Ethan James Brooks, effective immediately. I couldn't help smiling, not because of the money, because life had the strangest sense of humor. Yesterday, I was just another warehouse employee. Today, I owned the warehouse. Michael reached into his briefcase. There's one last thing. He handed me a sealed envelope. Jonathan wanted you to read this yourself. I carefully unfolded the letter. Ethan, if you're reading this, then my journey has ended. I watched your life from a distance, not because I doubted you, but because I wanted to see who you would become. When nobody expected anything from you. You chose kindness, even when life wasn't kind to you. You stayed honest, even when cheating would have been easier. Money doesn't create good people. It simply gives good people the opportunity to do greater good. Now, build something better than I ever could. I'm proud of you. Jonathan Brooks. I folded the letter carefully, my eyes filled with tears, not because I had become rich, but because, for the first time in a very long time, someone believed in me. Michael finally asked, "So, what would you like to do now?" I looked out the window, thought about my coworkers, thought about Sophia, thought about my manager, then smiled. I don't want anyone.
The next 90 days, I lived two completely different lives. Every morning, I put on the same faded blue uniform, laced up the same worn-out work boots, grabbed the same old lunchbox, and drove the same rusty pickup truck to work. Nothing looked different, and that was exactly how I wanted it. Because when people think you're just another employee, they stop pretending. They tell the truth. I listened. I listened to forklift operators who hadn't received a raise in years. I listened to single parents working double shifts just to keep the lights on. I listened to maintenance workers who kept repairing the same broken machines because buying new ones was always too expensive. Yet, somehow, the executives never seemed to have that problem. Every quarter, new luxury offices, new company cars, new bonuses. The math simply didn't add up. Every evening after work, I met with Michael. Audit reports, financial statements, internal investigations. Page after page, a pattern began to appear. Money meant for safety upgrades, redirected. Employee bonuses reduced. Maintenance budgets cut, while executive spending continued to rise. One name appeared, again and again, Victor Hayes. The evidence wasn't dramatic, it was worse. It was real. Small decisions, repeated hundreds of times, each one hurting the people who trusted the company the most. One afternoon, I found my friend Mike sitting alone in the break room. He stared quietly at his paycheck. I sat beside him. "You okay?" He forced a smile. "My daughter got accepted into college." "That's amazing." "Yeah, it is." He looked back down. "I just don't know how I'm going to pay for it." Those words stayed with me all day. That evening, I made my decision. If I was going to run this company, it wouldn't be for the shareholders alone. It would be for people like Mike, people who showed up every single day without anyone ever saying, "Thank you." 3 months passed. The audit was complete. Michael placed one final report in front of me. "This is everything." I opened it. 42 policy violations, 8 ethics breaches, millions of dollars misused. Enough evidence to completely replace the executive leadership team. I slowly closed the folder. "When's the next board meeting?" Michael smiled. "This Friday." I nodded once. "Good. It's time." Friday morning. For the first time in 12 years, I didn't drive to the warehouse. Instead, a black sedan stopped outside my house. As we pulled into the headquarters, I looked up at the glass tower. Yesterday, it was just another office building. Today, it belonged to me. The elevator doors opened. The boardroom was already filling up. Directors chatted quietly. Coffee cups rested on polished walnut tables. Then, the doors opened again. Victor Hayes walked in, confident, relaxed, smiling, until he saw me. His smile disappeared. He frowned, then looked toward Michael. "I think there's been some mistake." Michael smiled politely. "No mistake." He turned toward the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new chairman, Ethan James Brooks." The room fell completely silent. Victor stared at me, as though he'd forgotten how to breathe. "So, it was you?" I smiled politely. "Good morning, Victor." He opened his mouth, closed it again, then slowly sat down. He already knew. Something had changed. He just didn't realize. Everything had. I looked around the table, then quietly said, "Let's begin." The room was silent. No one touched their coffee. No one looked at their phones. Every eye was on me. I took a slow breath, then stood up. "Good morning, everyone. My name is Ethan Brooks. For the past 12 years, I've worked in Warehouse 3. A few directors looked confused. One whispered, "The warehouse?" I nodded. "Yes. I've unloaded trucks, worked night shifts, missed birthdays, and spent countless weekends helping build this company. I know exactly what our employees go through, because until this morning, I was one of them." The room became even quieter. I picked up the audit report. This document contains months of independent investigations. It tells a story, not about numbers, but about people. I slowly turned the pages. Workers requested safer equipment. They were told there wasn't enough money. Maintenance teams asked for new machinery. They were told to wait. Employees worked overtime, while executives rewarded themselves with larger bonuses. I looked directly at Victor. "Can you explain that?" Victor cleared his throat. "There were business priorities." I nodded calmly. "I agree. There were. But people should have been the first priority." I held up another document. This report also confirms several contracts were awarded to companies connected to your relatives. Victor's face turned pale. "That's not illegal." "Maybe not. But hiding it certainly raises questions." No one spoke, not even the directors who had always supported him, because the evidence spoke louder than excuses. I looked around the table. I didn't come here to embarrass anyone. I came here to rebuild trust. I signed the first document. As of today, Victor Hayes is removed from his position. I signed another. An independent investigation will begin immediately. And one more. Every employee will receive a company-wide salary review within the next 60 days. The directors looked at each other. One of them smiled. Another quietly nodded. Then, one by one, they signed. It was unanimous. Victor slowly stood. He looked at me, then quietly asked, "When did you know?" I smiled. "The day I realized kindness is never weakness. It's patience, and patience usually wins." Security escorted him from the room. No shouting, no arguments, just silence. The same silence he had forced countless employees to endure. 6 months later, the company felt completely different. The warehouse roof finally repaired, new forklifts delivered, safety equipment replaced, employee bonuses restored, training programs expanded, and every worker received profit sharing for the first time. One afternoon, I walked through Warehouse 3, exactly where my story began. Mike spotted me, still wearing his work gloves, still smiling. He walked over. "You know, I've worked here almost 15 years. This is the first time it actually feels like someone upstairs cares about us." I smiled. They always should have. He looked around the warehouse. You know what's funny? What? Whoever owns this company, they must have worked down here before. I laughed softly. Maybe they did. About a year later, I ran into Sophia outside a bookstore. She looked surprised. So, I've heard a lot about you. I smiled politely. News travels fast, she nodded. I made a mistake. I stayed quiet. I thought success looked a certain way. I didn't realize character was worth so much more. Those words felt honest, and that mattered. I smiled gently. I don't hate you, Sophia. She looked relieved. But I'm not the same man you left. A tear rolled down her cheek. I understand. She smiled sadly. I hope you're happy. I looked up at the clear blue sky, then back at her. I finally am. She nodded, turned around, and quietly walked away. People still ask me, what was the best part about becoming wealthy? The answer surprises them. It wasn't the money. It wasn't the office. It wasn't the house. It was hearing someone in the warehouse laugh without worrying whether they'd still have a job tomorrow. Because real success isn't measured by how high you climb. It's measured by how many people you lift along the way. And every now and then, I still buy a sandwich from the vending machine. Not because I'm hungry, but because it reminds me that sometimes life has to completely fall apart before it finally falls into place. Thank you for listening.